So if you're new to Python programming language, or if you're trying to learn AI machine learning from scratch, then this particular video is for you all. Please just watch this video till the end, and you will be able to understand different Python concepts right away from scratch, completely explained slowly. So do watch this video till the end, and do not skip any portion of this video, because I'm going to talk about a very important concept of in different types of variables in this session. So it's going to be very useful for you all in order to build your building blocks for Python. So let's get started. So I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to say different Python. So if we are going to deep dive into different types of variables in this particular session, just an overview of them in this session. We're not going to go deep dive into every particular type. So just I wanted to capture a comments for them, and then we will start understanding each and every one of them as we dive deep into each and every one of the type of variables. So the first one which you need to keep in mind in case of Python is called as arithmetic variables. Okay. Now in arithmetic, you will be having plus, minus, multiplication, division, right? You will have something called exponentiation symbol. So this exponentiation also I'll try to come up in some time as to what exactly it would do. Then we have something called floor division, and then we have something called modulus operator. So this is the first level of category which you need to understand the operators in Python. Then the next category, what we have is that we have something called as comparison operators. So what are comparison operators? So if you want to compare any particular two variables, let's say if I want to check if they are less than, they are greater than, they are less than equal to, they are greater than equal to, right? So these different operators are going to help on checking of them. And if you also want to compare if they're equal to each other or not, you can use the double equal to operator. Now, make a note here that one equal to means assignment operator. You're trying to assign a value. But when you have two equal to means it's like you're trying to compare the values of the two variables. Okay. Then the next particular type of variables what we have is called as assignment operator. As I was talking about the assignment operators. So here in assignment operators, you can actually try to do different types of operations. So you can try to, let's say, do equal to. Then if you want to do a shortcut of doing multiple operations in one particular action, you can use plus operator, and then you can put equal to. Likewise for minus equal to, you don't want to do, okay, a equal to a minus b. You don't want to do that. You want to make it like a very shortcut kind of a way. So Python allows you to have certain kind of operators which will exhibit these kind of simpler operations, reducing the number of steps. So you can have minus equal to, you can have multiple equal to, you can have division equal to, right? So these are the different assignment operators which you would be having in Python. The next particular one which we have is called as logical operators. Now, logical operators are nothing but the different operators which help you in doing certain logical operations. So let's say if I want to do certain logical actions between different variables, so I want to check if they are having same value, and what is the result if you try to do an AND operation. If I try to do OR operation, what will happen? If I try to do inverse of the actual value on a particular variable, what will be the output? So these are called the logical operators in Python. Okay. The next particular one what we have is called as bitwise operator. So bitwise is like if you want to work with a bits of different numbers. Let's say you want to convert a particular number into the bits, and then if you want to, let's say, play around with the different operations of the bit or the positioning of the number, like the bit numbers within the number, then you can go for the bitwise operator. So what we have in bitwise is that we have ampersand symbol, we have different operators actually. So I'm just trying to show them one by one. Okay. And then we have this operator, not operator, exclusive or actually. And then we have the not operator. This is the not operator. Then we have shift left, and then we have shift right. Okay. Then let's talk about the next data type. What we have is called as membership operators. Okay. So in membership operators, you are trying to check if a one particular variable is present in a data structure or not. So we will talk about the data structures in case of Python. But let's say that you have worked with Java. You might be knowing about what is an array, what is a stack, what is a queue. So those who are new to programming, we will talk about all these different data structures in a moment, like in upcoming sessions. So don't worry about it right now. What I'm trying to explain here, the concept is that, let's say if I use in operator, means a variable is present inside a data structure that we are trying to check whether it's a member or not. If it is not a member, we have a separate operator for that called not in. And then finally, we have one more operator type, which is called identity operator. So how do we verify that, okay, this particular variable is actually present in a particular memory location? So we have something called is, and we have something called is not. So if I say, okay, this variable is belonging to the so and so memory location, if it is giving output true, means it belongs to that particular location. If the output is giving as false, means that variable doesn't belong to the location. Okay. So these were the different data types in Python, which we have seen in today's session. I'll start off with one simple one, that is the arithmetic operators in a separate file. And we'll just cover some examples. Okay, so let's take a variable num1 equal to 10, num2 equal to 15. Okay, and let's try to do certain operations now. So let's say we want to do addition operation. So I'm saying num1 plus num2, num1 plus num2. This is going to support our addition. Just to keep a simpler look at it, I'm just giving a space here, but it's not mandatory. Then we are looking to look at the multiplication operation. Likewise, let's try to cover each and every operator, and let's look at the output. And here we are going to cover this one. And let's say we want to also cover the exponentiation. But exponentiation would be difficult to understand with this example. So I'm going to take num3 equal to 2. Because we want to make or show what is the output if we try to 10 to the power of 2. Basically, this double exponentiation symbol, what I'm trying to write right now. So this particular symbol is actually a double asterisk, means exponentiation. What this actually means is num1 to the power of num3. So what is 10 to the power of 2? 100, right? So that's what we're going to get here. So let's do one thing. Let's try to run the program. So here you go. So look at the output here. Let's try to compare each and every particular line and look at the output. So when we try to add two numbers, num1 and num2, 10 plus 15 gives you 25. Okay, here we go. So I'm just showing you all the output as well at the same time. And also let me try to scroll up a bit. Yeah. And now if you look at the next one, so we had num1 and num2 as 10 and 15. So 10 into 15 is 150. Then it is trying to divide num1 by num2. So this is going to be the fractional decimal value which you're getting here. And this is actually recurring. We have not kind of rounded off to the higher value, but those operations also supported. Then it says num1 to the power of num2. Sorry, num1 double forward slash num2. Okay, now what this actually means, right? So here what we are trying to do is, so what happens in the case of double forward slash, right? How it is different as compared to your normal division. So this is actually called floor division. So in case of floor division, what happens is that whatever is your, this particular one, right, value, it will round it off to the nearest whole integer. Now, what is the nearest whole integer? If you try to round it off, it's going to be 0, right? It's not going to make this entire thing as 1. It's going to be 0. So that is why you can see that it has rounded off to the next nearest integer, which is the value 0. And that's why you can see 0 here. This double exponentiation means your num1 is actually your base number, and you're trying to establish a power with a value 2. So 10 to the power of 2 will give you value 100, and that is how you're getting this output. So I hope this session was useful to you all, and if it was, and it was useful to you all, please do subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to get such more useful videos in the future. Thank you so much.